There we go. All right. We're back, hopefully. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Chiropractic Compass podcast and brought to you by the legendary Chiropractor online community. I'm your host, Johnny Ritter, and this is Dr. Brett Jones. We are here with him today. It is an incredible day. We had a little bit of a technological hiccup, but those things happen in the 21st century. Here we are. So today, Doc, since you did your brief introduction in the other one, I want to give you some time to just kind of give yourself a little bit of a brief introduction in this one, and then go right into your topics of the three business myths, chiropractic business myths that you think are most crucial and vital to chiropractic students and docs all around the world.
Absolutely. So, my name is Dr. Brett Jones. I'm a chiropractor. I have a practice in Oakland, California called the Source Chiropractic. We're currently in our 6th year in practice. We've won Best of Oakland 4 out of the 6 years I've been in practice, and we reached a 7-figure practice for the first time last year in 2018. With providing a chiropractic adjustment and a chiropractic exam. So those are our 2 charges that we have in the office, and so excited to do that. We're a team practice, so we have 5 chiropractors and 4 assistants. And enjoying that. I'm a student, an alumni of Life Chiropractic College West there in Hayward. And so today I'm joining you to talk about a few things. One of the topics that we want to talk about is like the 3 chiropractic business myths. So I am the current owner of Kairos Training Culture and also the founder of what was Adjusting Ninjas, which evolved to Kairos Training Culture. And in that system, what we've realized is, we're dedicated to the art of chiropractic and helping people develop in that. And, now being our 6th year out in the world leading training camps, we've had some amazing artists develop. And there seems to be a trend where artists don't make that transfer. I believe it's even a misperception that you got to pick one or the other, right? So it's like either you're going to be really good in business and your craft isn't as top notch, or you have an amazing craft and you're weak on the business. And I believe, one of the number one reasons that people don't transfer, especially some of these chiropractic artists, because they usually have a high value of contribution to humanity, but they don't realize that they're going to contribute better with a deeper level of abundance when they're financially doing well. So making that transition. So the first myth to bust is that you can be an amazing chiropractic chiropractor, and still run a very successful business. Case in point, the Source Chiropractic. I think myth number 2 is that you have to use manipulative sales techniques to be effective, right? And so from what I've witnessed and observed, there's a good portion of chiropractic business systems and practice management systems that are still teaching fear-based sales. Right. And so we're gonna show you your spine. We're gonna tell you how fucked up it is, right? We're gonna show you how degenerated it is. And that if you don't get care, then you're gonna be a lot worse for it. And what I have found is that you don't have to put people into fear to start them with care, right? You don't have to close them. You can start them. And you can start them by, giving them all the things. Like you can notice what you notice. And so in our office, we primarily use a functional based system to provide a score. And in that score, we inspire people to be better, right? And so this is where you're at, and this is where we want to go. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to use fear and manipulative sales techniques to be effective in selling care plans. So I think that's myth number 2. So in our office, this is freaking straightforward, man. So we do a detailed functional exam. This is what we found, right? And based on what we found, this is what we recommend, and this is how you pay for it. And you don't have to try to plant these seeds and there's all this weird stuff that goes around, and I think just creates a lot of anxiety for chiropractors when it comes to the sales process. But when you have an amazing product and you know that it's going to help this person tremendously, then just be able to straightforward communicate what it is that you do and how it's going to provide value to their life and how it's going to help them be better. You don't have to communicate in a way that if they don't see you, how much worse this is going to be. I believe, honestly, fear is what keeps people in suffering, sickness, and disease. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that we give people hope and faith and love and connection. And as Arnaud Bernier would say, you want to bond with people, not bind them to care. And there's a big difference. So, and then that was number 2. And I believe number 3 is that the myth is that, again, you have to use X-ray, right? You have to use X-ray to be able to show people the effectiveness or value of your care. Meaning that most people are especially, again, the majority of practice management systems that I'm aware of are still using X-ray. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some techniques that are very specific to X-ray, but there's also cell systems that aren't specific, needing X-ray, using X-ray to sell people into care. And so we found that as long as you can quantify and qualify what you're finding. So, for us, we use the thermography scan that we score, and then we do a functional analysis where we're checking out overhead squat, we're checking out your gait, we're doing your posture, range of motion, muscle testing, and other chiropractic specific tests. And then again, we quantify and qualify that. And then to qualify people for care, as long as you can quantify and qualify, then you can stand by the care that you're recommending. I think when you are having, so again, there's technique systems where they're completely tonal, but then they're using X-rays for cells. Doesn't make any sense, right? Especially when you're not doing follow-up X-ray to see, because if you're telling them your spine looks like this, and this is why you need care, and then not doing any follow-up on the X-ray to show that's improving. Because, when I first started, I'll be completely honest, when I first started, I was like 95% X-ray, right? And then my philosophy, theory, and understanding of chiropractic has evolved and changed through time. And I view the body a lot differently from this biotensegrity system. And I take a lot less X-ray at this moment. Now, with that said, what evolved was an understanding, or I guess I'm saying this, there's some people that will come in, right? Their spine looks fucked and yet function, right? And very low levels of pain. And then there's some people that come in and their spine looks amazing and they have severe pain, right? And all kinds of emotional, all this stuff. And then what I found is and then we were doing post X-ray on people. And so the person came in, right? And who's talking? And also I want to know who's talking about this, because these are some real conversations that I'd love to get in. Yeah. People come in, right? Their spine potentially did look jacked, right? And we start caring for them, right? And so we're adding motion where there was no motion. We're getting better afferentation. All of these things are helping the system heal. And then you're doing post X-ray 6 months later. The spine might not look that much different, yet the person's doing phenomenal, right? So after a while of seeing the inconsistencies and seeing how actually function is over the structure, right? That you can have a scoliotic spine that looks like garbage, but you can function because the joints are moving well and the system knows how to integrate and the muscles are coordinated because you have a clear nerve system. So what I tell people now is to be honest, you're going to come in if we are taking X-ray, so there's certain situations that we'll still take X-ray. This is your starting point for us to get a picture of the stress that you've been through your life, potentially. Mm-hmm. And no matter what we're seeing here, it's not going to dictate exactly how well you can get. Because I've seen people that have been given no hope, right? That this is the latest stage, the stage 4 of degeneration. This is severe. Nobody else can help them. There's in health management. They're going to be paying for the rest of their lives, and they get well, right? And then you got the people that their spine looks fine, right? And maybe they don't progress as well. So it's so multifactorial because we are dynamic living systems that ultimately it's our job to connect with people, to facilitate a healing process, to be present with them and allow them and hopefully provide the strategies by clearing up their perception that they can start to take control over their own life. And so the third myth is that you have to use X-ray to communicate the value of chiropractic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think everything that you said is spot on. I don't think there was a thing that you said that wasn't a true myth, or that I haven't heard in going even throughout chiropractic school so far, which is kind of crazy. But it's good that we're shining light on it, right? It's good that this episode exists. It's good that you're on this show right now, telling these myths and saying, hey, it doesn't have to be this way, right? And so I want to circle back real quick. Number one, you can be an amazing artist and run a successful business. I think that's really important for people to understand, because people that are really great at the art of chiropractic might not be, or might be struggling in other areas of chiropractic, such as the science, philosophy, or even the business, if you want to add that into chiropractic as well. So how would you encourage a student or a doc out there that, is a phenomenal adjuster, but their business just isn't there?
You need to reach out. Reach out, man. So what happens is, like, it's interesting, right? Because the art of chiropractic is very difficult to get even good at. And then, mastery is that lifelong journey. And so what happens, though, is that people that start to go amongst the levels of evolution in the art become addicted to it. Meaning that you only see them at art seminars. So it becomes a new comfort zone. Even though it might have been uncomfortable in the beginning, then it becomes a new comfort zone. And so something that I did while in chiropractic school, and even do now, is every single quarter take a look at all four aspects of chiropractic. So we have the philosophy, the art, and the science, and then as you're a doctor, the business, right? So if you have those four aspects, where is it that you need to continue to evolve? If you get too heavily weighted in any of those areas and you're deficient in the others, it's going to show in your practice. It's going to show in the people that you're serving. And so, kind of a hashtag that we've been using within Kairos training culture is hashtag no more broke artist. Right? Because if you have this amazing product, you deserve to see people. And Grant Cardone would say your number one problem is obscurity. Right. Mm-hmm. So if I have a great product, but I'm not seeing anybody, then people don't know about me. So that means I need to step up my marketing. I need to step up my advertising. I need to get my day 1 and day 2 systems clean. And there's another, common thing that happens with the artist is they become anti-system. Right. But what they don't realize is by that having super clean systems, it allows you to perform your art. Or if this person's going to show up, and if they don't show up, what's the process for getting them called back so they can come back in? Are they getting properly scheduled? Are they making their appointments? Like, how are you taking care of these things and filling the holes in your practice? Because, stage 1, you might get really.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh man.
I'm back.
What's
I think.
going on?
I'm back.
Oh, are we back? We're back.
Yeah, that was momentary. I think that was something you did maybe on that time. Last time was me, I think. But, yeah, bro. So yeah, systems will allow you to be more creative. Systems will allow you to be more connected. Systems will allow you to feel more abundant. And so for those that out there that have been anti-system because you think it's going to interfere with your art, it's actually the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So if you are a thriving artist, know that you can have a successful business in chiropractic, or if you're a very business-minded person, know that there are resources out there that you can go and find the art and start practicing this stuff each and every day, because there are training cultures like Kairos. There are other opportunities out there for chiropractic students and doctors looking to either improve your business or improve your art. And either one, I think that Dr. Brett Jones is a phenomenal resource if you have any questions.
So we're Kairos training culture for the art, Kairos business mastery for the business. And within Kairos training culture, it also carries the philosophy and the science as well.
Absolutely. And you need all of them, right? The second myth was you don't have to use manipulative sales tactics anymore to get people in your door. I think that, Dr. Tim Young kind of says it the best, and I've mentioned him in previous podcasts, but he says, I tell people the truth. And that's it. I tell people the truth, and I don't need to show them all these different things. If they don't like what I had. They walked in my door. So therefore they are in need of myself and my treatment or my care. Yeah. And that's all I can do is tell them the truth from there.
Yeah, Tim Young's a good friend of mine. He's also a straight shooter. I love it just like that. You ain't got to try to package it any way than what it is, right? Just tell them what it is.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, don't add to it and don't take away from it, right? Chiropractic's a pretty powerful thing, and when you let it speak for itself, I think that we see immense change in our patients and in our patients' attitudes also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So myth number 3, have to use x-ray to prove what you are doing is working. I don't, you said that doesn't need to be the case. We can do a functional screening assessment and find out just as much. And you said you've seen some jacked up spines and you've seen some perfect spines, and those two don't necessarily correlate with the functionality of, or the feeling of the person. Right.
Right.
But
it's been said that if you MRI the entire population, you'll find 40% with disc bulges. Yeah. Right. But how many people are actually showing symptoms of a disc bulge? So there's more that goes into it than just what's showing up on radiological findings. And so again, you can approach that however you want to approach that. Now, some people love that x-ray screen, and there are some techniques that are very dependent on x-ray. So again, the biggest thing here is whatever you do, be in integrity throughout the entire process. If you have a tonal technique that doesn't require x-ray to deliver your care, then think about, why are you taking x-ray to show people? I'm saying there's other ways. Now, if you're doing follow-up x-ray, right, to be like, okay, no, we are getting these changes, and you're able to show the people the changes with tonal, that's amazing. But if you're just doing the pre-x-ray to sell people into care by telling them that they're degenerated, I think we can do better.
Yeah. And I think that goes hand in hand. All three of these go hand in hand, all three of these myths. And, using x-ray as a manipulative sales technique, I think that's still out there. And, I think they all go hand in hand. So thanks for sharing those with us. And I think the major takeaway with that I got from this, that I wrote down, I wrote fear in capital letters and then crossed it out. I mean, I think that the fear tactics need to be gone. I think they need to dissipate in chiropractic. And I think that the public already has a certain perception about chiropractic. And if we're going to ever change that, it can't be based off of fear.
I agree.
Yeah. And then also last thing was,
there's no fear. What you say? Yeah.
I was saying, the last thing is treat the individual, right? And find them where they're at, meet them where they're at, no matter if that's their story coming in and they have 10,000 problems, or if they have no problems and they're just like, I heard chiropractic care was good for me. Mm-hmm. Meet them where they're at, meet their body where they're at. And I think you do a great job with that, especially at the Source Chiropractic.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Doc, talk to us a little bit about knowing who you are, right? Connecting with yourself, the man, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, all sorts of things. I think you're a master at this. So I'm going to give you the floor. Talk to us about knowing who you are, how you find that out.
Yeah. And so just go. I would love to do this, because I know you have a big student population. And then again, whether you're a student, or whether you're a doc, or whether you're, a chiropractic advocate, this is for you too. But we'll start with a student. In school, it's very easy to get lost, right? It's very easy to get lost on why you started. It's very easy to get lost into other people's and systems, ways of thinking for how you should care for people. And it's important to understand, that the schools that are being accredited by the CCE and then all the other stuff that goes into it, they are designing a very specific chiropractor, right? And something that you have to keep in mind is, by going through that system and what it's producing, are you liking what's coming out the other side, right? And if you are not, and that's up to you, then you need to decide a kind of a co-curriculum, right? Meaning that there's something that you are doing so that you can stay on the path for who you want to become, not for what's being produced by the mass industry. And with that, some questions that I like to ask is, what would be the ideal healing that would take place in your healing center? right? I believe that, the majority of us get into this from a wound or from a loss or from a pain or from some suffering or somebody out there somewhere that we wish we could help, right? And maybe it's a former version of yourself, right? And so, back in the day, everybody was coming in, going to school, having been a chiropractic miracle story. That's not necessarily the case anymore. A lot of people are hearing from other people, and maybe they've never even had a chiropractic adjustment, and they're starting to think it's going to be a good profession or whatever it is. So for them, I say, well, seek out, somebody that performs a masterful adjustment so you can actually feel what that feels like. But step one is visualize and ask yourself the question, what would be an ideal healing result? Because what you'll see in school is pretty, it's the standard place of what the majority of chiropractic is seeing right now, right? Most people are seeing neck pain, most people are seeing back pain, most people are seeing headaches. You might get a little bit of pediatric colic in there or whatever else, but that's the majority of what's out there. And that's the majority of what will come into the school systems. Mm-hmm. But if you got into chiropractic for the depth of chiropractic, for the body's ability to heal from whether it be emotional trauma, mental trauma, like do you want to work with the mentally ill? Have you heard about the Clearview Sanitarium, where that BJ Palmer had, where they were having people that were severely mentally ill, filling out the psychiatric wards, going to the Clearview Sanitarium and having a success rate of 80%, getting, I believe it was like 50 to 75% better. That's huge. Mm-hmm. So do you know about the power of chiropractic in that way? Do you know about the power of chiropractic to help people, that have some of these late stage, brain diseases, whether that's Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or dementia, and the research that's coming out of Italy with knee chest. So it's like, what is it that you want to do? And what's the ideal healing result? And then based on your ideal healing result, who's the ideal person coming in to receive that? So now you're identifying your ideal target market. And then you got to establish, well, who do I need to be in order to achieve those results? Because I'll tell you right now, it may not be the person that the industry is producing. The industry is producing a competent doctor in relationship to medicine. Let's get real. I'm going to say that again because people need to fucking hear that. The industry is producing a competent doctor in relationship to medicine. And I would love to see somebody come on here and tell me that ain't the truth.
Yeah.
It's the third time because this is fucking big. This is why I'm getting the chills. This is big. The industry is producing a competent doctor in relationship to medicine. Now, I did not get into chiropractic for medicine. I don't know about you, Johnny Reuter, but Nope. Did you get into chiropractic for medicine?
I did not.
So unless you got into chiropractic for medicine, understand that you're going to be a competent doctor in relationship to medicine, then you got to figure out the chiropractic game. And you're going to figure out the chiropractic game by reading the history, by studying with the living legends, by studying the past legends, the ones that have practices that are getting the results that you want to see. And then you need to be of that vibration. You need to immerse yourself in that. And that's how you be who the fuck you are, is by accepting nothing else. Because I'll tell you right now, there's going to be people that tell you you're fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be people that tell you that you're weird. People that tell you that it's impossible. But I tell you, lean in. Mm-hmm. Why else are you here? If you ain't living your legend, you're living somebody else's. So you can either choose to be the medically competent doctor or be a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And be the chiropractor that you choose to be. And that's going to be by understanding and visualizing and seeing your ideal healing result, seeing your healing center, seeing it full with your ideal people that are in there, seeing yourself in all of the attributes that you need to be to deliver those results. I need to be powerful. I need to be present. I need to be confident. I need to be competent. I need to be strong. I need to be fast. I need to be loving. I need to have compassion. I need to be humble. How do I train all that shit? Okay, That's what's going to take for me to be the chiropractor that I want to be. Oh, I also need to know this thing called philosophy. I also need to know this thing called chiropractic science. I'm going to say that one again. I need to know this thing called chiropractic science because, again, what you're getting in the industry, you're getting medical science. I need to understand chiropractic science. And guess what? If the school ain't going to give it to me, I'm going to find it my damn self.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to understand this art. And here's the big thing about the art. Again, majority of schools still to this day, posology. Till this day, posology. You learn to line up, you're going to set up, and you're going to tell them what directions you're going to go. And it's going to be the easiest class you got to pass. Does that make any sense? Ain't nobody stressing on chiropractic technique classes during midterms and during finals, huh? That's the one you ain't. I got that one. Why? Mm-hmm. That's your fucking product.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you're going to serve the world with, and yet it's going to be the easiest class that you got. Tell me that makes any fucking sense.
It doesn't.
All right, man. See, you know why people tend to not like me at some points, because they know what I'm saying is fucking true.
Right.
Yet they'd rather live in their comfort. But I'll tell you right now, you want to grow, you want to evolve, and you want to see this profession evolve. It's time to lean into the discomfort and realize where we're inconsistent. And by finding those inconsistencies, just like finding interferences, we know how to deliver an adjustment so that we can evolve, heal, and become dynamic with the living universe. That's what we're here for. So you may not like the way the messages come across, but you need to sense whether or not they're true. And if they're true, then it's time to do something about it. Why is it that not every single school has a training program for chiropractic? Meaning that you're actually training the art, meaning that you're actually going through the athletic skills that are necessary to perform a chiropractic adjustment. To me, it's a no-brainer, yet we still don't see it.
Absolutely. But I think with your loud enough voice, right, and the power that and the compassion that you share with us today, I think that's what helps people follow you. I think that's what helps people be attracted to this profession and start doing the parallel curriculum that you talked about, right? And they start diving into the philosophy themselves. They start diving into the art, the business, the science, the chiropractic science themselves, because they realize what they're getting isn't necessarily going to be substantial for the future, right? So I think that everything you're saying is true. And I think that, you know what, lean into this, to the discomfort. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. So let's circle back here. I want to talk now that we know who we are, or we kind of touched on it. I bet you talk about this for hours, but talk to us about your book. Where did that come from? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I started a coaching group online called the Unshakables, July of last year. And I had a group of about 50 people that were doing group coaching. I would go live at 6 a.m. in the morning, and it was following doing a movement, breathwork, and meditation series that I would start at 5 a.m. So I did this for 3.5 months. We had all the live recordings. One of the people in there, Dr. Danielle Cornelius, suggested, these are really good. Do you want me to start like transcribing these? And so she started transcribing them, and I traded, personal coaching for the transcription. And so when we were finished, I had a little bit over 160 pages of Word document from the content that was delivered. And so from there, she started to organize it and put it like in chapter form. And then, originally I thought, okay, I had the flash that I was going to release it unedited. Like it was just going to be the transcript. But then as I started to go through it, I'm like, man, this shit's good. Like I need to and there was some passages that, didn't all the way connect, like as you're reading it, so I'm like, I need to make sure that the people are getting the point of why this is here and adding a little detail where I need detail. And so then I went ahead and took, I estimate about 80 hours going through the book 3 times. Like doing an original, some rewrite, and then going through and catching like some grammatical stuff. And then the third time was actually when I went to Portland, Oregon 2 weeks ago, and I did the reading. So and the reading was like kind of the last time I had the opportunity to catch some of the stuff. And even my wife's been going through it, and she actually did there's still a couple things in there. It's funny. I was listening to Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold. I think it's the one I was listening to, or it was the new one. I was listening to Grant Cardone, but his first book he released, they're on their fourth edition or whatever. He's all, fuck it, get it done. Like when I first released, like there was grammatical errors and everything. We just fucking got it back and we redid it and put it back out there. It's still a number one seller, right? So it's like, and that's kind of been some of the way that I release when it's called a release, and that's kind of how you find some of the last pieces. So if you're looking carefully, you might find that there's still a couple of things in there. But anyway, so the book's
done
out.
Is better than perfect, Doc. Done is better than perfect.
Yes, the book's out. It's called Know Who the Fuck You Are. What we have is 52 days, so 52 chapters, and the majority of them will have an activation or affirmations after, or an exercise. And so I was going to share one of the days or part of the days with you, so you can kind of get a glimpse of what it's all about.
Yeah, please do.
All right, man. So this is, I think it's going to be perfect for what we've been talking about. Day 48, efforting. It's why you're here. Yesterday, a student from Life West came into the source, and I could tell something was up. As I check in with him, he says, yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Something is really going on. I'll tell him to lay down so we can get him adjusted. When he gets up, I tell him he looks better and continue to ask him what's going on with him. He looked me straight in the eye and said, I just don't want to jump through these motherfucking hoops anymore. Been there, done that, huh? All right.
Yep.
I looked him back in the eye and said, that is exactly what you are here for. It sounds silly, but it's true. Wherever you are, there will be challenges. Sometimes they are not your preferred challenges, like trying to get through a graduate program. I get it. And I was recently reminded by my mentor, Dr. Marvin Talsky, that there are two reasons why we are here having a human experience. One is to experience what it feels like to give like God. Why? An all-powerful, all-present, and all-knowing intelligence cannot experience what it feels like to give to another. As the infinite source of intelligence, there is no other. This is the principle of a non-dualistic reality. The second reason we are here is to receive only as a result of effort. If you are efforting, that is a good thing. Even though it may not feel like it at times, it is a great thing to be efforting. That is what we came here for. Why? Because as God, as the infinite, all-knowing, all-present, and all-powerful source, things happen for you in a snap. All reality is existing at all times in all dimensions. As soon as you can think of it, there it is. There's no effort. So we are here having this human experience to feel and experience what it feels like to give like God and to receive only as a result of effort. Pretty genius. So efforting is why we are here. Just laugh about it because you're going to have to effort in one way or another for the rest of your life. Consider it a blessing. If you are feeling tired, know there is another wave of energy coming. Remember, when connected to soul and spirit, the recuperation you need will be delivered within divine timing. Everything that occurs in nature, you are part of the universe. And when you need to call on source, when you need to call on spirit, it will be there always to guide you, to serve you, and to provide for you. So get out of your head, get into your heart and effort.
I love it, Doc. Awesome. So I got the book link down below. If you need, I took the shortened link that still works off your Instagram. So it's bit.ly/no book, and that'll take you right to Dr. Brett's Amazon page to purchase his book. I think it's about $20, right?
Yeah, we're at 20, Amazon, it was 22 and Amazon dropped it down to 20. I don't know how they work that, but anyway, it's $20 right now. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
The algorithms, I don't know how they work, but
yeah, right. But go check out the link below. Check out his book, read the reviews. There are plenty of reviews, all 5 stars. And so it's a phenomenal thing. And Doc, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on today. And do you have any last or closing words that you'd like to leave with students or docs out there watching and listening?
Be still. Know who you are. Live that.
I love it, Doc. We're going to end on that. Know who the fuck you are out. It came out last Friday, so go check it out on the link below on Amazon. And also a couple shameless plugs for you. Head to thelegendarychiropractor.com for everything chiropractic. It is your virtual one-stop shop. And also we are launching a job board come the end of April here. So April 28th at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we will be launching a job board. So if you're a doc out there looking to hire an associate or looking to hire an independent contractor or whatnot, please reach out to me and head to the legendarychiropractor.com to stay up to date with all of the new things coming. Doc, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being on today. I appreciate you. I'm sorry about the hiccups that we had, minor technical difficulties.
Turned out well, man.
But it turned out great. Thank you, sir. And hopefully this gets shared and spread across all of Facebook for everyone to see and enjoy. So,
Thank
Doc,
you.
have a great day today. Go light up your practice as you always do, and be the beacon of light in your community.
Hey, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, Doc. Bye now.
Bye.